Okay, thank you guys for the singing. And hello guys, how are you keeping today? May always be happy. Today is third day of Medvoc 2024. By the way, did you join the first day or second day of Medvoc yesterday? Well, today is no less exciting. The topic and the speaker is great too. Entering the first event, namely Remix. The first speech will be delivered by Sister Maya as the chairperson of Medvoc 2024. To Sister Maya, time and screen are invited.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to everyone present here today. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to welcome you all to our international webinar on multicultural education. My name is Marida Maya, and I'm the chairperson for today's event. In our increasingly interconnected world, understanding and appreciating cultural diversity has never been more important. Multicultural education not only broadens our horizon, but also fosters mutual respect, tolerance, and inclusivity. Today, we are gathered to delve into these critical themes, share our insight, and learn from each other's experiences. We are privileged to have distinguished speakers and experts from various corners of the globe who will share their invaluable knowledge and experiences will undoubtedly enrich our understanding and spark meaningful discussion. I encourage everyone to actively participate, ask questions, and engage with the content and our speakers. This is a unique opportunity to broaden our understanding and to contribute to a more inclusive and harmonious world through education. Thank you all for being here and for your commitment to fostering a multicultural understanding. Let's make the most of this opportunity and have a productive and enlightening session. Thank you.
Okay, thank you to Sister Maya for the remix. The next speech will be delivered by Sister Irma as the Minister of Scientific and Achievement of BEM Vocational. To Sister Irma, time and place our screen.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, good morning everyone. First of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Irma. I'm here as Minister of Scientific and Achievement of Student Organization, Faculty of Vocational Studies, Universitas Airlangga. This opportunity is an honor welcome you all to this international webinar on multicultural education with a focus on the path of health departments. Today's webinar offers a unique opportunity to explore the intersection of cultural diversity and innovation in healthcare. It is through such discussion that we can uncover new insights, challenge conventional thinking, and pave the way for inclusive and sustainable health practice around the world. Hopefully, in this event can provide all of us with a better understanding of multicultural perspective in the world of health. As the younger generation, we shall be dedicated to creating a learning environment that embraces cultural diversity and prioritizes excellence in education. I hope that we can all be actively involved in implementation and multicultural education culture so that we can shape the better future and continue to collaborate and create amazing innovations. And enough of my remarks. And once again, I want to say thank you very much for all of your participation today.
Okay, thank you, Sister Irma, for the remix. speech will be delivered by Brother Sapta Junairi as the Coordinating Minister for Student Affairs of BEM Faculty of Vocational Studies, Universitas Erlangga. So, Brother Juna, time and screen are invited.
Okay, thank you for time. Good morning, everybody. My name is Sabta Juneri, and I'm Minister of Student Affairs, BEM Vokasi 2024. First, the Honorable Minister of Ilpres 2024, Sister Irma, the Honorable Vice President of the Vocational Student Executive Board 2024, to Brother Hisam Komuna, the respected Dean of the Faculty of Vocational Study, Professor Anwar Ma'ruf. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Medvoc. We are delighted to have you here today. The seminar focused on exploring the power of diversity for multicultural education. And we have an excellent lineup of speakers who will share their insight and expertise. We encourage you to engage and ask questions and make the most of this opportunity to learn and network. So thank you to sponsor and everyone who helped organize this event. So enjoy this seminar.
Okay, thank you to Brother Juna for the remarks. The next speech will be delivered by Brother Muhammad Hisham as the Vice PM Vocational Universitas Erlangga. To Brother Hisham, time and screen are invited.
Yes. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Salam, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Kebajikan, Rahayu Rahayu Rahayu. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude to the presence of God Almighty, because with His blessing and grace we can gather at today's event in good healthy. Next, I respect the Vice Dean of the Vocational Faculties, Professor Dr. Tika Widyastuti, SAMSE, and I also respect the representative of the Surabaya City Health Office, Dr. Rainer Meilaksana Sumbung MHKes. Then to those, I also respect the very phenomenal speaker, namely Dr. Tafrina Rianda and Mr. Ayub Manggala Putra, STRKes MSC. And I also proud of the coordinating minister for student affairs, Sabta Junairi, the Minister of Science and Achievement of BEM Vocational Faculties of the Student, Irma Dwi, and the chairperson of the Medvoc 2024 activity, Maulida Maya, along with the other committee member and our speaker. One thing I can say is that this work program was built on the basis of the strength and desire of the movement to create multicultural scope in the vocational faculties with conscious and various fields, namely healthy, business, and engineering, so that a harmonious climate and mutual understanding are created between departments, which ultimately create good quality to support activities of the faculty itself. Maybe that's all for me. If there are any wrong word or action, please forgive me. Thank you for your patience and enjoy the event, guys. Ihdina shiratal mustaqim. Syukran. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, the next speech will be delivered by Professor Dr. Tika Widyastuti, SEMSIDRSPA, as the Vice Dean of Faculty of Vocational Studies, Universitas Erlangga. To Prof. Tika, time and screen are invited.
Okay, thank you, Master of Ceremony. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning. First of all, Honorable Head of Human Research from Health Representative Ministry, Professor Dr. Rainer. Thank you for the support for our agenda this morning. Honorable all of the lecturers that join in this Multicultural Education Vocational 2024. Honorable Mas Hisham as a Vice President and all of the committee, and honorable all of the participants. There are 85, yeah, Alhamdulillah. Representative of our dean, Professor Dr. Anwar Makruf, that cannot join in this morning. And we are really appreciate multicultural education vocational at Faculty of Vocational Study that held from 2 days ago, yeah, maybe until tomorrow, yeah, or maybe today is last day. It's very great agenda, and we hope bring big impact for all of the students, because in this era at Society 5.0, the most important that we can adapt and we can engage with all the background, with different culture, and we have to face multicultural at many sectors, include at our environment at our Erlangga University. And we hope that from this agenda with the big potential multicultural that we have at our faculty, in the next priority agenda, we can formulate and we can create many programs that bring beneficiary and big impact, positive impact for the student, alumni, and all of the member of Erlangga University. I'm sorry that not conducive enough because I have an agenda right now, and we hope that this Medvoc 2024 can bring success for all until the end. Thank you very much, and stay healthy and happy for all of us. Terima kasih. Billahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you to Professor Tika for the remarks. Okay, the last speech will be delivered by Dr. Rainer Meilaksana Sumbung, MHAKES, as Head of Health Research Division 2. Soon the to Dr. Rainer, time and screen are invited.
Okay, thank you. Is my voice is clear? Is my voice is clear?
Yes, clear, Doctor.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, everyone. Let me introduce myself. I'm Dr. Rainer Meilaksana Sumbung, MHAKES, as a Head of Health Resources of Health Office of Surabaya. And let me continue my speech in Bahasa, because I want to read the speech from Head of Health of Surabaya, Ms. Nani Cukrisina MKes. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi, salam sejahtera bagi kita semuanya. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, Rahayu. Yang saya hormati Dekan Fakultas Vokasi, Profesor Dr. Anwar Ma'ruf, Dr. Hewan MKes, Wakil Dekan Prof. Dr. Tika Widyasuti SE MSI, segenap dosen Fakultas Vokasi, Ketua Badan Eksekutif Mahasiswa Fakultas Vokasi, Ketua Pelaksana Multicultural Education Webinar in Vocational Medvoc, segenap mahasiswa dan mahasiswi Fakultas Vokasi Universitas Airlangga, dan hadirin para undangan yang saya hormati. Pertama-tama marilah kita panjatkan puji syukur kehadirat Allah Subhanahu wa taala yang senantiasa melimpahkan rahmat dan karunia-Nya kepada kita sekalian sehingga dapat hadir pada acara Multicultural Education Webinar in Vocational Medvoc 2024 dengan tema Exploring the Power of Diversity for Multicultural Educational yang diselenggarakan oleh Fakultas Vokasi Universitas Airlangga dalam keadaan sehat walafiat. Hadirin yang saya hormati, pendidikan multikultural senantiasa mengedepankan pengakuan keanekaragaman, keterbukaan, kesamaan, dan pluralitas yang meliputi sikap penghargaan, menjunjung tinggi hak asasi manusia, dan secara khusus berhubungan dengan kebudayaan, agama, etnik, dan gender, serta identitas sosial. Pendidikan multikultural harus dipahami pertama-tama sebagai suatu proses dan bukannya sebuah program. Proses menjadi artinya proses yang berkelanjutan, proses belajar yang tidak pernah selesai, berjalan terus sepanjang peradaban pendidikan dan hidup manusia, atau lifelong learning. Peserta didik menyediakan instrumen dan pengalaman dengan kesediaan untuk memahami, mengerti, serta mengakui latar belakang dari semua pribadi dengan corak kebudayaan masing-masing, sehingga ia mampu mengaplikasikannya dalam masyarakat dimanapun dia berada. Melalui pendidikan multikultural diharapkan tumbuh kesadaran dan kedewasaan pada setiap insan terdidik dalam menghadapi masyarakat majemuk dan benturan konflik sosial. Dalam konteks pendidikan, keanekaragaman latar belakang budaya, keluarga, agama, dan lingkungan peserta didik maupun pendidik dapat dijadikan sebagai lingkungan yang strategis untuk mengelola kemajemukan secara kreatif, sehingga konflik yang muncul sebagai dampak dari perubahan sosial dapat dikelola secara nalar dalam zona pendidikan. Saya juga menyampaikan semoga dalam kegiatan webinar ini dapat berjalan dengan baik, sehingga diharapkan nantinya pengetahuan utamanya terkait kekuatan keberagaman untuk pendidikan multikultural bisa lebih baik lagi dan berkembang khususnya di Kota Surabaya. Tekanan dan ujian untuk mencapai resiliensi pendidikan kesehatan yang multikultural menjadi semakin berat. Apalagi dengan dihadapkannya pada pertumbuhan populasi, urbanisasi yang pesat, perubahan iklim, dan ancaman sistem kesehatan yang belum terbiasa dengan budaya, inovasi, dan dengan teknologi kesehatan. Sebagai negara besar yang dikaruniai Allah dengan keberlimpahan sumber daya alam dan manusia, kita harus mengencangkan ikhtiar dalam inovasi dan penguasaan teknologi supaya bangsa kita tidak tertinggal dalam berbagai bidang pembangunan, utamanya dalam bidang pendidikan. Kepada seluruh peserta webinar, saya berharap semoga kegiatan ini bisa memberikan pendekatan dalam proses pembelajaran. Dengan kata lain, pendidikan yang mencakup pendidikan multikultural, yaitu soal keanekaragaman, keterbukaan, pluralitas, kebudayaan, agama, perbedaan gender, dan identitas pribadi manusia. Pada titik ini, pendidikan multikultur menjadi urgent. Keadaban berbangsa akan tampak bila setiap pribadi semakin dewasa dalam upaya melestarikan pendidikan multikultural. Oleh karenanya, pendekatan kepada manusia dan untuk mengatasi problem kemanusiaan tidak bisa lain kecuali dengan menggunakan pendekatan pendidikan multikultural. Dalam menghadapi dunia yang semakin terhubung, pendidikan multikultural menjadi kunci untuk membentuk generasi yang tidak hanya terampil secara akademis, tapi juga memiliki pemahaman yang mendalam tentang keanekaragaman global. Guru memiliki peran sentral dalam menciptakan ruang kelas yang mendukung pertumbuhan siswa sebagai individu yang terbuka, toleran, dan siap menghadapi tantangan masa depan. Terima kasih kepada seluruh elemen yang terus bekerja sama dan gotong royong dalam memberikan pengetahuan pendidikan yang terbaik bagi masyarakat, utamanya di Kota Surabaya. Hadirin saya hormati, semoga multicultural educational webinar in vocational ini dapat bermanfaat bagi seluruh elemen masyarakat. Demikian beberapa hal yang dapat saya sampaikan. Semoga Tuhan Yang Maha Esa senantiasa menjaga dan melindungi kita semua. Sekian, terima kasih. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Surabaya, 27 Juli 2024. Kepala Dinas Kesehatan Kota Surabaya, Nani Sukristina, SKM MPes. Thank you for everyone.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Reiner, for the remarks that have been delivered. Okay, before entering to our core event this morning, there will be an opening performance, namely Pencak Silat, to which we are in charge.
Okay, sorry guys, because we have problem. And the next event is the main event, Multicultural Education in the Health Department, Vocational Faculty, Universitas Airlangga. To all participants, to pay attention to the material because there will be a quiz at the end of the material. The first material will be delivered by Dr. Dafrina Rianda. Please welcome Dr. Dafrina.
Hello,
Hello,
everyone.
so doctor, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear your voice
Okay,
very
thank you.
clear.
Good morning, Dr. Dafrina.
Good morning, Tiara and everyone. Hello.
Hello, welcome to Medvoc 2024 today. I'm very pleased and honored to introduce our wonderful guest speaker, Dr. Dafrina Rianda. Dr. Rianda is a passionate researcher and educator on material and child health and nutrition, especially to support the first 1,000 days of life. She is the co-founder of Mama for Planet, aiming to empower mothers for healthier and living planet at home. She received her MD and Master of Nutrition from Universitas Indonesia, and she is researcher at the Human Nutrition Research Center, Indonesian Medical Education and Research Institute, Faculty of Medicine, Universitas Indonesia. Currently, she is a PhD student in nutritional biology at UC Davis. It's right, doctor?
Mhm.
Okay, may I ask, do you want to share the PPT screen by yourself or from the commit?
Yes, I will share my screen if that's okay.
Okay, can we start now? Well, time and screen are given to Dr. Dafrina Arianda. Thank you,
Uh,
doctor.
all right, thank you, Tiara. So, hello everyone. It's such an honor to be here. First of all, I would like to thank um to the vocational faculty of the University of Erlangen for inviting me. And I'm very excited to discuss with all of you on this very important topic nowadays, which is the multicultural approach in health. Um, so I am now doing my PhD at the University of California, Davis in the United States, and also um, developing a Mama for Planet program that Tiara has introduced uh, a few points of it, but I would like to highlight that because one part of the presentation would be related to my experience at UC Davis and also as being part of Mama for Planet. And throughout the presentation, please feel free to post questions on the chat. You can also post the question in Bahasa or in Indonesia. Jadi kalau mau taruh pertanyaan bahasa Indonesia, itu nggak apa-apa banget. And then I'll try to translate that, and then we can answer that in English or in Bahasa or in both language that we can talk. So all right, yeah. So in this presentation, we're gonna start with a what is actually multicultural health system, what is actually multicultural approach in health, and then we're gonna go through how culture could influence individual and community health. And then we're gonna talk more about the strategies and examples of multicultural approach and health. Okay, so the very important question that we need to address in the very beginning is why multicultural approach is now even more important. There's a lot of webinars and courses discussing multicultural approach, ethnicity. So there's a lot of interest in this topic, and that's because of the connectivity that we are exposed nowadays. So we are connected globally. It's very easy for us, to approach someone in other countries. For example, you can just, send an email, you can send
a DMs on Instagram. So it's very easy to get connected. And that would also motivate us to have a global understanding, trying to understand the point of view of other people coming from different culture. And at the end, we also would like to see some global leaders from Indonesia that could connect people from different countries. And then we have to also learn how to engage and also developing academic and professional competency that would also require a multicultural understanding. So these five key points are actually embracing the global citizenship of us. So global citizens, I think it is a familiar term for all of us. So multicultural approach or multicultural understanding is part of our effort to be a good global citizen. I think one of a very good example is that nowadays it's much easier to pursue, master degree or PhD overseas instead of pursuing, a graduate studies in Indonesia. So that also forced us to, be able to explore many things. But for that objective, we need to have this multicultural approach, understanding of multicultural approach. I have two cases as examples of why multicultural approach is important. So I'm gonna play this video. So the first case is pretty much a classic example that we usually get. Where I got this example when I was pursuing my MD. So we need to learn how to be more to have more empathy and trying to understand other people, beliefs, and culture. So this is a pretty classic example.
Hello, Nadira. I'm Dr. Calais. I'm filling in for Dr. Smith. Looks like you had a very successful surgery last month. How's your recovery been?
Well, thank you.
I'd like to begin by doing a quick examination of the location of your surgical wound just to make sure you're healing correctly and everything looks healthy. May I ask you to remove your head covering?
No,
I'm just gonna. Okay.
I cannot remove my hijab.
Nadira, I want to make sure that you're healing from your surgery correctly, and in order to do that, I need to take a look. Did Dr. Smith not tell you this would be part of the follow-up?
Well, Dr. Smith is a woman, and you are a man. And I cannot remove my hijab in the presence of a man who is not my husband. But that is why I came here, to see Dr. Smith. She can be the only one to do my examination. If Dr. Smith cannot be here today, I will have to reschedule my appointment.
All right. Why don't you wait here a moment, and I will check and see if she's on her way. Elizabeth, I'm glad you're here. This patient of yours is giving me a heck of a lot of trouble. I'm trying to examine the sutures from her surgery, and she won't remove her hijab. How am I supposed to do a post-op checkup with her?
Nadira Ansari. Well, I understand, Michael. It's part of her cultural and religious beliefs that a woman may only remove her hijab in front of her husband. And even if we don't fully understand it, we need to respect those beliefs when treating patients. Well, I better go check on Ms. Ansari. What room is she in?
3B?
Thanks. If you...
Okay, so that's the first. Sorry, is the sound coming? Can you hear the? I don't know if the sound of the video. Suaranya masuk nggak ya dari videonya? Mungkin teman-teman panitia
Masuk, dokter.
masuk. Oke, videonya masuk ya. Suara video. Oke, jadi so that's a pretty classic example why we need to understand people beliefs and culture in health system. I would also like to add that in this example, it's religion is a topic, but in terms of multicultural, it could be also, like races, countries, and like just like a pretty diverse background that could also influence our belief and value that could be different um, from other people. So, but I would also like to highlight the case number 2.
Hello, Nadira.
So in the case number 2 that I would like to show you after this. So in this case, I would also like to highlight that sometimes the differences in cultural is pretty subtle. So it's not as it's not as clear as the previous case. In the previous case, that's pretty clear. You ask someone to take off her hijab, which is that makes her feel uncomfortable. Then in the second case, it's pretty subtle. Sometimes it's pretty implicit. But let's take a look at the example number 2.
I think a lot of the times, and it's, people look at me and they think of me as this old little fragile woman, that speaks with an accent and is probably not very smart because she has an accent. But I don't see myself as that.
I find that sometimes people automatically discount my intelligence just basically because I have this accent. They stereotype not only me, but I think all people who have a accent similar, whether it be from Appalachia or any rural areas of the country, to automatically think just because you come from that area that you may not be as intelligent as them.
I was something new for a lot of people to take, and my favorite first experience with that is my maiden name is Fitzgerald, and I went to school to be a dietitian. And when I was doing my clinical rotation in Eastern Kentucky, this is before social media and all of that, and so they saw my name as Marissa Fitzgerald. And I showed up to a county in Eastern Kentucky, and they took one look at me and said, well, you're not what we thought you were gonna be. And they didn't mean it in a nasty way, but it did take me back a little, because I realized that I didn't match what they thought I was going to look like that day.
So when I walk into a provider's office, I want them to see all of me, not just one piece of me.
The advice I would give to health professionals if they're working with someone with a disability is be patient, interact with the patient and not the parent or whoever's with the patient. And don't use long medical terms because you'll more than likely just confuse the patient with the disability.
I would like my providers to know that they need to listen to me, because if they're not listening to me, how are they going to be able to provide health care?
Yeah, so that's the example number 2. So if you can compare, the example number 2 is pretty subtle. So, for example, we can sometimes we judge other people based on the accent, on like how they speak or they behave, and then like, oh, like that people are coming from like different culture or different areas from us, and these areas could be an area that are associated with maybe like higher poverty, and then there could be like a risk of discrimination on that. So sometimes it is very subtle. So this is where the multicultural understanding is important, because now it's very easy for us to get connected. It's not only that something that we face day to day in day-to-day activities that, like patients coming to us, but also whenever you want to do a health program in other areas, or if you want to do like collaborative program with other people from different countries or different communities that have a different belief and culture and values different from us. So that we need to be more careful and sensitive. So that leads us to the definition of, actually, next slide. But I would like to bring you to the definition of multicultural approach. But I would also like to highlight here that the culture is it's a very important point as a health practitioner, because cultural health beliefs could influence how people think and feel about their health problems. It would also influence how people from whom they seek healthcare. So, for example, maybe in some cultures they don't trust doctors, so they could reach out to other person, but not the doctors, to seek the healthcare. So the kind of understanding, it's a little tricky, but we should understand that challenges, and how people think and feel, and whom they seek healthcare, would influence how they respond to recommendations provided by the healthcare practitioners. So, and the example number 2, for example, if a person, if us, we don't feel respected, we don't feel that the healthcare practitioners understand our value or understand our culture or beliefs, we would just like, hey, this is not gonna work, because that is not appropriate for my beliefs or culture. So it wouldn't work. It wouldn't change any health outcomes. It wouldn't improve any health outcomes. So it's very important to understand how people think and feel, which is based on what their cultural health beliefs, because those influence how people would react or follow the recommendations provided by the healthcare practitioners or by us. So multicultural health is a way to provide healthcare services in a sensitive, full of knowledge and non-judgmental manner with respect for people's health beliefs and practices that might or might not be different from ours. So what is also challenging is that multicultural health is not necessarily just focusing on culture or a belief of a person, but also how we could incorporate those beliefs and culture with a healthcare that also conducted within legal, ethical, and medically sound practices. So it doesn't mean that, oh, we need to follow all of your beliefs, but how we could actually balance between the culture and beliefs of an individual or a community with the evidence-based practices, those who's like legal and ethical and medically sound practices. So how could we actually balance the culture, but also it should be evidence-based. For example, for COVID-19, maybe we should, because your belief is that using traditional medicine, it's not traditional, using jamu, for example, it's enough to treat COVID-19. However, it is not evidence-based. So that's not what multicultural approach aims. So multicultural approach also take into account what is the evidence-based practices, what is the medically sound treatment, but how we could incorporate those with the culture and belief of individual. So this to implement multicultural approach or understanding, this would include 3 things. I like this emoji. I hope you like it too. But first is it could also include challenging our own assumptions. So, for example, we might, we might, okay, we are, so say we meet a person or our patient. We have our own judgment to this patient, initial own judgment, but we need to challenge whether that assumption is correct or not. Or maybe we don't have to explore our assumptions more. So just trying to re-questioning whether is this appropriate for them? Is this something that aligns with their beliefs and culture that are acceptable within their culture? And also within the multicultural approach, that would also drive us to ask the right questions. So it doesn't mean that we need to respect people beliefs. It means that we have to stay away from sensitive questions. So that's not the thing that we would like to do. What we want to do is that we could ask the right and appropriate questions to help the patients get the most effective treatment, for example. So we are not we don't we won't be like shy away from from the different cultures that the patients could have. And also lastly is working with the patient or community that take into consideration their beliefs. And the main goal is that we want to provide a treatment or a health program that are effective and helpful and could solve their health problems. That's the main goal of multicultural health system. So the main goal is not that making someone else happy or being like a people pleaser, but the goal is that we want to help people. We want to help the patients with approach that are respectful to their culture and belief, but also evidence-based and medically sound. So cultural competence is the key. So cultural competence is something that we need to have to pursuing multicultural understanding in our day-to-day activities. It's a combination of awareness, knowledge, skills, and attitudes and behavior. So it's how we being aware, how we, enrich our knowledge, how we're gonna have the skills, attitudes, and behaviors that are competent to understand the cultural differences. And we're gonna apply that in a healthcare setting so that we could obtain benefits not only for the patients but also the providers. This is a very nice example of cultural competence. And what I want to highlight here is there's 5 information that we need to explore whenever we are, in our healthcare practice, for example, or if you're gonna pursue a healthcare program. These 5 topics are something that we would like to know. First is you need to understand the social and cultural aspects of our intervention or our program. So it might be some medicines are not appropriate for some culture or some people. For example, vaccination, COVID-19 vaccine for the Muslim. We don't want to have a vaccine that so this is just an example, but if it contains something from, from the pig, so we don't want that. So that is kind of like cultural aspects of the medicine that we need to understand. The second one is the relevance of ethnicity and the biomedical role in race. So if we take a look in studies, researchers now are very, very interested in how different races or different ethnicity have a different genes that could lead to a different risk on diseases. So that also something that we would like to explore. And then what is also important is that the number four is the fourth one is that sometimes some ethnic groups or some people with particular beliefs or culture, they have an added burden because of the systemic discrimination. So it's pretty subtle, but I'm sure that maybe some of you have some experiences being discriminated, although it is pretty subtle. It's pretty implicit. Might be the discrimination because of our ethnicity, because of our background, because of our socioeconomic status. So that also something that we would like to understand from our patients or from our target participants. And these information would be really helpful for us to developing our cultural competency and combining that competency with our clinical skills as healthcare providers. That would lead to an excellent multicultural approach and health system. So go on to the benefit of multicultural understanding. So why we have to do it? It helps us to provide a better problem identification. Sometimes when we I have provided a lot of examples that related to the day-to-day practices as healthcare providers. But multicultural understanding or approach could also be applied for those of you who are creating a program that includes people with different backgrounds. So that is wonderful, right? So we have a lot of point of view, and we also have for example in Mama for Planet program that we do, we have people from young leaders from Bangladesh, we have young leaders from the United States that could contribute to enrich our understanding to identify the problem. So it leads to a more leads to a better identification of the root causes and also the risk factors that could be neglected if we're not doing that collaborative approach with different countries. And then if we have this better problem identification, that will also lead to effective and innovative solution or treatment. I would give another example. My experience working with students from Brazil, from Costa Rica, from United Kingdom, and from United States too. So that apparently that discussion really helpful to produce innovative solutions. And also because of the collaboration, that collaboration could improve the implementation as well. So a very important example is that having people coming from different backgrounds, they also coming with different resources that they bring to the table. So it could help to improve the implementation of the policy. So this is the first thing that I would like to share on my personal experience. I was in a student Sustainable Development Goal Zero Hunger Student Challenge, International Student Challenge. So I worked with students from United States, from UK, and from Costa Rica, from Brazil. We are actually proposing a program that would be implemented in Indonesia. But because we have a team with different culture, so I myself might understand the situation in Indonesia, but having them coming from different cultures and different backgrounds really enriched the discussions and leading to a more innovative solutions to the problem. So we won this competition as the first place winner. So that is very, very exciting. So this is the video, the presentation that like a highlight of program that we propose. So this is an example what kind of innovative solution that could be produced through a multicultural approach. Yeah. So wait a minute. Okay.
The Universal Declaration of Human Rights has stated that nutritious food is a fundamental right. However, almost 350 million people are facing food insecurity, and even more, 3 billion people are unable to afford healthy diets. As a result, malnutrition are still commonly found, including Indonesia.
Indonesia is one of the most populous countries in the world with a population of about 250 million people. It's no doubt the largest economy in Southeast Asia. However, FAO estimates show that a large number of people are still undernourished in the country. 31.8% of children under the age of 5 are suffering from stunted growth. The number of children that are moderately or severely wasted or overweight have increased to an average of 2,500 in recent years. Because of hunger in Indonesia is likely linked with limited access to healthy food, inadequate nutritional knowledge, poor dietary habits, and poor sanitation.
Therefore, we propose an End Hunger Community Center, or EHCC. This is a unique community-to-community approach that improves the production, distribution, and consumption of foods by focusing on local resources and community connection. The EHCC empowers households through local food coverage, healthy eating modules, and home cook training. Additionally, the center partners with households for a gardening relationship to distribute these locally grown foods. LFC is a local food distribution program that uses a personalized approach. It covers not only people living below the poverty line, but also those at risk for poverty and food insecurity. Moreover, LFC will have several levels of benefits and be integrated with existing government programs, like school lunches.
The second activity on how we can support the provision of nutritious food for local food coverage, which is healthy eating modules and home cook training. We will develop healthy eating modules through needs assessment and research on local food culture, ingredients, preferences, and health issues. Home cook training will be an official means to grow home-based food market as the providers for the local food coverage. Cooking demonstrations and hands-on activities are provided to reinforce the concept.
To make our project unique and cutting-edge, we're going to engage in a new farming technology known as cone gardening. This includes the cultivating of crops in a conical shape above the ground to save space. So basically here the soil will be blended with manure that will be created in our center, and some irrigational vertical kits will be placed from above. An organic compost will be created using the food scraps that will be left from the cooking process and will be used as organic manure. This is to promote the circular economy system in sustainable agriculture.
We target 94 families in this pilot project per one EHCC. We aim to grow more centers, as this EHCC would serve as a model for community-to-community approach to accelerate End Hunger target in 2030.
End Hunger Community Center, powering the community.
Yeah, so if you see the example, the cone farming, for example, that is coming from my friend or my student. It's not really in Indonesia. So they do that in Africa, but that's also an example how the having a multicultural team in our health program would be really helpful and crucial to have a more innovative solution at the end. So another example that I would like to highlight here is my experience with Mama for Planet program. So in Mama for Planet, for example, this is a program to empower local mothers for food with prevention at home through training and gamification activities. So within the team, we have people from Indonesia, we have young leaders also from the United States and also Bangladesh. So during discussions, we have a very rich discussions because, people coming from different backgrounds, people coming from different cultures that bring something to the table that would be really, helpful to create innovative solutions. And at the end, this program led to 62% of food waste reduction, wonderful, which is amazing. So, and then we also won some awards through Mama Program. And so that is an exciting part of having multicultural team for our health program implementation. So this is my last slide. So how is what is actually so what are the clinical strategies? It's only two strategies. The first one is the cultural competence that we already discussed in the previous slide. And the second one is actually to embrace diversity of thoughts. Sometimes we feel sometimes we feel that, oh, like, my English is not very fluent. That is not a problem at all. That is not a problem at all for us, to getting know other students, or reaching out to other students in different countries, and maybe we can pursue some collaboration um, for to create health programs. They they are very they're gonna be very appreciate they're gonna be they're gonna appreciate us, and they wouldn't judge us at all. So that wouldn't be a problem at all. So embracing the diversity, reaching out to students in different countries or different areas, we would have a more rich discussion in developing health programs. Okay, so feel free to get connected with me through my LinkedIn, Instagram, or my email. That's all from my end. And
Okay, thank you, Dr. Davina. So, good based on what Dr. Rianda has delivered, that now multicultural approach is relevant because relational diplomacy connect, global understand, global leadership lead, civic engagement image, and academic and professional competence develop. Also, incorporating culture and belief system of the recipient while providing care within the legal, ethical, and medically sound practice practitioners' medical system. The balance of multicultural health there are culture and belief. Legal, ethical, medically sound, evidence-based culture competence is needed, and benefit of multicultural understanding is one, improve implementations, two, effect and innovation, solution or treatment, also better problem identification. Okay. Well, doctor, before everyone here I wanna ask for the first. Do you think that the majority of hospitals and community health centers in Indonesia have staff with effective multicultural communication skill in healthcare? If not, has this had a negative impact? Thank you, doctor.
yeah, thank you, Kiara. It's a very, very important question. I um it's pretty challenging, but maybe some hospitals or some community health centers already provide a training to have this multicultural approach implemented during the healthcare practices. But based on my experience, I think if we compare to the US, because I am also exposed to the US system in healthcare, they already put multicultural understanding as a priority. And for example, in it's not only in the hospital, but in my university, a part of the orientation training is that we need to finish a video about being respectful to other people beliefs and culture. So sometimes maybe if we start that kind of approach, that kind of training when someone already got into the healthcare facilities, it's a little too late. So I would say that kind of training should be provided just far before, for example, like this like this event, right? Also like this is a very important event, very important raising a very important theme. So yeah, that would so one of the example, for example, I was taking my daughter to the doctor, right? So they were very very here in the United States. They're very very careful about they're not judging at all. So yeah, it's a very very different experience and different feeling too. So they are very very careful whenever they offer treatment. They only ask whether it is something that I would like to do, whether it is something that is acceptable for me. So it is not a one-way communication. It is a bidirectional communication between the patients and also the healthcare providers. So yeah, but thank you. That's very important questions. Awesome.
Okay, thank you for your answer, Doctor. It's awesome. So, well, to all participants who want to ask question, please active the raise hand feature or type in Zoom chat column if your device has heavy problem. After that, I want to call you one by one.
And also, please feel free to ask questions in Indonesian, in bahasa. Jadi kalau mau ada yang tanya dalam bahasa Indonesia, please feel free to do that. If that's okay. But yeah, just feel free.
Silakan teman-teman kalau mau bertanya boleh menggunakan bahasa Inggris maupun bahasa Indonesia. Langsung bicara dengan dokter hebat kita, Dr. Davrina Rianda, melalui kolom chat Zoom maupun mengaktifkan fitur raise hand. Okay, there is from Sophia Ghanim. Excuse me, doctor, I want to ask, what are the challenges in healthcare when providing service to patients with different culture backgrounds? Thank you, doctor.
Very interesting question, Sophia. Excellent. So I think one of the most important challenge is to balance our willingness to understand other people's culture or beliefs, and how we balance that with our willingness to provide an evidence-based approach or intervention or medically sound approach. So sometimes the medicine or the treatment that we offer might not be acceptable for some cultures. I'll try to give an example. So it's not medicine, it's not related to medicine, but here, for example, I was taking my daughter and to a pediatrician, and one of the developmental milestone that my daughter has to have is that speaking, right? But in our Eastern culture, we are pretty shy. So Indonesians are pretty shy, and then American children are pretty expressive. So, but the pediatrician are not pushing me or my kids to be American children. So we are very comfortable with that discussion. So they are very understanding in a way that they understand that we are coming from Eastern culture, that we are very, less expressive, less, just less expressive compared to American children, which is the majority of the majority in the United States. So so that kind of understanding, but then they also have to tell me, they also have to advise me that although my kids are shy as a kid coming from Eastern culture, but she still needs to speak, right? So combining those medically sound or evidence-based recommendation or target with our cultural understanding of those people, that is a very, very interesting challenge.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yanda, and thank you, Sophia, for your questions. Next, from Aurel. Excuse me, doctor, I want to ask you, are there any examples of programs that have successfully improved culture competency in health? Thank you.
Great question from Aurel. So yes, so I'm trying to remember whether there's any program in Indonesia when I was working as a medical doctor. I can't remember on top of my head, but I think I can give examples here. In some okay, in some studies, in some research articles, they developed a program to create less discrimination for some races in the United States, for example. So they would provide healthcare provider with the same races, for example, or with a healthcare provider that could speak in their language. So that kind of approach is pretty successful, and they always ask the patient here whether English is the most convenient language that we use. So that kind of understand that it's pretty. It sounds a little bit boring, but that's very important in a way that it would help people to be more respectful to other people, culture, or background. And the way they improve that is one of the ways to improve that is providing the training as soon as getting into to the college students, to the medical students, for example. So because it is something that takes time, right? So cultural competency is not coming in one night and then that's all. So it takes time, it takes practice too. So if you never like been exposed to people coming from different culture, we will never practice cultural competence. So yeah, so training as early as possible, and then having a healthcare facilities that also provide support for people coming from a culture or a background that are more prone to discrimination. That's I think that's some of the good example.
Okay, thank you, Doctor, for your amazing answer. So, the next question from Tihani Zahira from University Technology Mara, Malaysia. My question is, how do traditional healing practice among Indonesian diverse culture group interact with modern medical treatment, and what challenge does this pose for healthcare providers? Thank you. Thank you, Tihani, and thank you, Doctor.
Thank you, Tihani. It is a very tricky question. I like this question. It is not challenging, but I know there are some programs in some universities in Asia that is actually exploring traditional medicine. So they run some studies or some research on traditional medicine. So they're trying to have the evidence whether the traditional medicine are really effective or not. But it's very challenging because, well, for example, jamu in Indonesia, like jamu beras kencur in one area could be different from jamu beras kencur in different areas. So because the content of the jamu or the traditional medicine, it's just a little different, although they have the same name. So I think that's the thing that they want to like explore. The scientists that would like to explore. So having a standardized traditional medicine. And I'm also aware that during the COVID-19 pandemic, right? So the traditional Chinese medicine it was very popular. And then there's a lot of studies coming from exploring traditional Chinese medicine. So having trying to get the evidence on that, I think that kind of that's one of the way to in to to have a better interaction between modern medical treatments, but also considering there is an existing traditional healing practice. That's only a small part of it, because there are also some practices that are harmful, traditional healing practices that are harmful, and that it is something that we are we avoid it. So I think having some statement, a clear statement from the from the pediatrician community, for example, on whether this practice is harmful or not, that is also something that is pretty common in Indonesia. So yeah, that it's tricky, but we're trying to address that. Thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. It's enough, Tihani? I think it's enough. If you want to ask, you can chat again or mic. Then question from Ali Juma Kamis. How can healthcare centers involve the community in promoting multicultural education? First, and two, how can hospitals manage conflict that arise from culture misunderstanding among doctors and patients? Thank you.
Okay, interesting questions from Ali Juma. So how can healthcare centers involve the community? And oh, that's interesting. So I don't have anything on my mind actually, because I think, well, actually, I think what is what so something some there's a program that I know, but it's not in Indonesia, but in the US. So there's this one program trying to prevent discrimination for Black women. And the way they do it, for example, that they invited the leaders, or the community leaders, or the influencers among among the local people, coming from, for example, like Beckham, right? So and then they would invite them to the hospital to discuss with the physicians, or with the nurses, for example, and they could, address their concerns, or their friends, or the community concerns. Maybe some of them have been facing discrimination, but it's still unsolved. So that kind of program, just trying to get more the healthcare providers and the community leaders connected. It is basically an advocating the concerns, and maybe for future program that trying to reduce discrimination or prevent discrimination. So that's the one of the programs that I am aware of. By involving the community in promoting multiculturalization. I'm also aware that they would also invite people from minority, giving uh, giving like a speech, or like give them a space to express their concern in front of the students, or the future nurses, or future medical doctors. So that's also the thing that is interesting to be explored. And the second question is that how can hospitals manage conflicts that arise from cultural misunderstandings? Well, it's an important question, but I am not sure. I am pretty knowledgeable in this, but um, hospital hospital they have their own management. But what I'm aware of in Indonesia is that our concern, or our awareness on subtle discrimination has not been that good. So it is hard to address our concern, or our patients' concerns, who are facing subtle discrimination in the hospital settings or in any setting. So I'm aware that so that's why I give you the case number 2, which is a pretty subtle. People judge implicitly. So that kind of thing, it's still yeah, we still have a long way to go on that part. But yeah, I think having more discussion that maybe inviting the hospital management, the doctors that work in the hospital, a discussion on multicultural approach, multicultural understanding, that would be, something that we need to do more in the future. Yeah, so that's all my answer.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Rianda. And maybe the last question from Sar. Hello, I'm Sar, a foreign journal in Indonesia. I have been living here for almost a year and have faced several health problems such as tooth sensitive, weakness, and weight loss. When I visit the hospital, they treat me if I am Indonesian, despite the fact that we have different immune system and it takes time to adapt to new medicine. Even though I mentioned this to them, healthcare professionals don't consider this point. What is your opinion on how healthcare professionals should tackle this issue? Thank you.
Very important question from Shah. First of all, welcome to Indonesia. It's been a year, but yeah, but I'm just gonna say welcome. But so I think I mentioned this in the example of information that we need to obtain to have a cultural competence, which is the biomedical biomedical role in race and ethnicity, or just trying to understand what is actually the difference between one race and other race. In the US, they have a lot of studies doing, for example, genetic testing, or like trying to see whether different races have different risk factors, for example. But that kind of studies or knowledge, it is something that we need to work on more in Indonesia. I do understand though that maybe because in Indonesia, in the US, for example, the ratio of the foreigner and the US citizen could be pretty maybe balanced, maybe 40 to 60 ratio. But in Indonesia, I would say like maybe like 10 to 90, like 90 is Indonesian. So that kind of yeah, that's a very important thing that we need to be aware and raising awareness for. And thank you so much for raising this issue, and I hope some of the participants are students, right? So there could be a future healthcare practitioner. So this is our task together, that how do we actually address this kind of challenge? How do we raise awareness on trying to understand the difference in their body, and risk factors that could differ from one race to another race, or yeah, just be more considerate and be more open to new knowledge. Yeah, that is something that we need to work on, especially because maybe in our study program in medicine or related fields in health, maybe not really touching that areas, that different races could have a different risk factors, could have a different risk from some health outcomes. But because that's why the webinar is here. So it is something that we need to work on. I would suggest though, if maybe attending an international hospital would be helpful. This is a very, it's me being a little pragmatic, but just because they have more experiences with foreign, so they could, because I understand that practitioner, general practitioner, or medical doctor, it's a balance between like knowledge and also experiences. So the more they get experiences or exposure to foreigner as their patients, would also help them to raise awareness on like, hey, like they have a different immune system, they have a different genetics. So that's maybe a pragmatic advice that I would like to highlight. But yeah, so I hope that that's
Okay, thank you for your clear answer, Dr. Rianda. Well, we want to say many thanks to Dr. Rianda, the material and knowledge that has been delivered. Then, before your Dr. Rianda leave the Zoom, let's take a photo together and the awarding of certificate as a form of gratitude for being willing to be a speaker at the Medvoc 2024. Okay, guys, I will help you count for first page. 1, 2, 3. Next. 1, 2, 3. Next. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you, doctor. It's for you from our commit Medvoc 2024 certificate.
Well, thank you, Medvoc, for having me. I hope the presentation is helpful, and yeah, thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, doctor. See you. You can leave Zoom or stay here. Thank you. Okay, guys. How about it? Are you bored or something else? No, I think before entering our next event, there will be an opening performance, namely Pencak Silat from Indonesia, to which we are in charge. Let's watch together. Okay, are you still excited for the next event? I hope you will stay because there will be a quiz with many prizes. Don't leave Zoom because the second material for the Medvoc 2024 webinar will start soon. So that many friends are excited and sleepy. Yeah, okay. I have an icebreaker. Just go ahead. Here I will show you a clue and you have to guess the name of the country based on the clues on your screen. Hello guys, are you still here? Or are you asleep? Let's join our icebreaker. Yeah. In our screen, there is clue for your... We can start now. I will count 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Oh, it's any instructions. First, which country is famous for its beautiful canals, tulips, and windmills? A. Oh, A, Italy, B. Netherlands, C. Germany, D. Belgium. Lydia Laxmi, yes. What's the answer?
B. Netherlands.
B. Netherlands. Okay. Are you sure? And the answer is... Oh. B. Netherlands. Okay, Lydia Laxmi. You're right. Okay. Second, in which country can you find the famous water city of Venice? A. Italy, A. Italy, B. Spain, C. France, and D. Greece. If you want to answer, please active your feature raise hand and open your mic. Lydia Laxmi and Aurora Sakila, I will count. So down your raise hand. I will count in 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, Aurora Sakila. Aurora Sakila first. And what's your answer?
A. Italy.
A. Italy. Okay. And the answer of this question is... Okay, Aurora Sakila, congratulations. Next. Which of the following countries is famous for the colorful Rio Carnival? A. Argentina, B. Brazil, C. Colombia, and D. Chile. Okay, guys, I will count in 1, 2, 3. In my screen, Lydia Laxmi first. I'm sorry, Tihania and Daninda. What's the answer of this question, Lydia?
B. Brazil.
B. Brazil. Okay. Are you sure? And the answer is okay, B, Brazil, right. Thank you and congratulations, Lydia. And the next question. Which of the following countries is known for its iconic opera house and harbour bridge? A. United Kingdom, B. United States, C. Australia, and D. Canada. I will count in 1, 2, 3. Okay, Daninda, Aisha.
The answer is C, Australia.
C. Australia or B. United States?
C, Australia.
Okay, C. Australia. Thank you, Daninda. And the answer is okay, right. Congratulations, Daninda. The answer is Australia. And next question. In which country can you find the famous Pyramid of Giza? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Ali Juma Khamis first. Okay, Ali, what's the answer?
The answer is C.
C. Okay. And the answer is oh, yes. Congratulations, Ali.
Thank you.
Thank you. And next question. Are you ready to win? Oh, ternyata sudah selesai. In the last question. Okay, thank you guys for coming and for joining to our Icebreaking Medvoc 2024. And the winner of our icebreaking is Lydia Laksmi. Okay, congratulations, Lydia. Can you hear my voice? Lydia Laksmi?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Before we proceed to the next material, we will show a live training video from various study programs in Department of Health, Faculty of Vocational Study, Universitas Airlangga. Let's watch together to the comment in charts, please. Okay, the next event is
Nama saya Dita Runi Asrina Utami, dokter spesialis kedokteran fisik dan rehabilitasi, selaku koordinator program studi D4 Fisioterapi Fakultas Vokasi Universitas Airlangga. Fisioterapi adalah suatu tenaga keterapian fisik di kesehatan yang nantinya akan bekerja untuk mengembalikan fungsi pada manusia yang mengalami disabilitas. Program studi D4 Fisioterapi merupakan salah satu program vokasional yang pembelajarannya menitik beratkan pada skill.
Universitas Airlangga memiliki program studi Diploma 4 Teknologi Radiologi Pencitraan yang berada di bawah naungan Fakultas Vokasi. Radiologi merupakan salah satu cabang ilmu kedokteran untuk mengetahui atau mendiagnosis bagian dalam tubuh manusia dengan menggunakan teknologi pencitraan. Selama perkuliahan, mahasiswa akan mendapatkan pembelajaran secara teori dan praktik yang nantinya akan diaplikasikan di dunia pekerjaan.
Saya koordinator program studi Sarjana Terapan atau Diploma 4 Teknologi Radiologi Pencitraan Fakultas Vokasi Universitas Airlangga. Program studi Sarjana Terapan Teknologi Radiologi Pencitraan Fakultas Vokasi Universitas Airlangga merupakan program studi yang menghasilkan radiografer ahli di bidang teknologi radiologi dan imaging medis yang unggul di tingkat nasional dan bertaraf internasional. Program studi Sarjana Terapan Teknologi Radiologi Pencitraan merupakan program vokasional dengan menitik beratkan pembelajaran praktikum baik di laboratorium maupun di rumah sakit untuk menghasilkan radiografer yang kompeten.
Fakultas Vokasi Universitas Airlangga dengan tujuan untuk mencetak lulusan yang memiliki peran penting dalam menjaga keselamatan dan kesehatan para pekerja. Melalui pendekatan yang komprehensif, mahasiswa program studi K3 dilengkapi dengan pengetahuan teori dan pengalaman praktik lapangan yang tentunya menunjang kemampuan para mahasiswa. Mahasiswa juga dibekali dengan kemampuan untuk mengendalikan potensi bahaya di lingkungan kerja. Prodi D4 Keselamatan dan Kesehatan Kerja memiliki visi menjadi program studi D4 K3 yang mandiri, inovatif, dan terkemuka di tingkat nasional dan internasional, yang mampu mengatasi masalah keselamatan dan kesehatan kerja dan
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Perkenalkan saya Dr. Abdul Nasir, SKPNS MKAP, Kaprodi Diplomatika Keperawatan Fakultas Vokasi Universitas Airlangga. Perlu diketahui bahwa Diplomatika Keperawatan itu merupakan program studi yang akan menghasilkan mahasiswa itu terampil, baik itu dari segi teknikal, dari segi pengetahuan, dan jangan lupa nanti dari segi interpersonal. Artinya bahwa memang Diplomatika Keperawatan itu kita didik supaya mahasiswa terampil terkait dengan kognitifnya, terkait dengan interpersonalnya, hubungan antar manusianya, dan tidak lupa terampil dari segi teknikal, yaitu clinical nursing practice.
Okay, entering the next speaker is Mr. Ayub Manggala Putra, STR Kes MSc. Welcome to Medvoc 2024, Mr. Ayub Manggala Putra. Good afternoon.
Hello, Tiara. How are you? Good afternoon. Thank you
Okay,
very much.
I'm fine. And how are you, Mr.?
I'm good. I'm great. This is a really nice opportunity to talk about the multiculturalism in health education. Yeah. I mean, this is the first time that I talk about this topic, so I'm very excited about it.
Okay, thank you. I'm very excited to introduce our special guest. He is a lecturer at the Radiology Imaging Technology Program Faculty of Vocational Studies and awardee of the LPDP University of Manchester Scholarship. He has many professional experience, such as diagnostic radiographer at Husada Utama Hospital and Surabaya Orthopedic and Traumatology Hospital, also radiation protection officer for radio diagnostic and interventional. Right, Mr.?
Yeah, radio diagnostic and interventional, yeah.
Yes. May I ask, do you want to share the PPT screen by yourself or from the comment?
I think I've sent the presentation through Maulida.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Thank you. I can wait to find out more. Can we start now, Mr. Ayub?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Time and screen are in fight.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. How are you today? So, yeah, as I said before, like this is the first time that I talk about the multiculturalism and health education. So, yeah, I've heard that this is the webinar series that we already did for about 3 days since Friday, if I'm not mistaken, and I'm very delighted to have this opportunity to discuss because this is very important topic. How the multiculturalism embrace the patient care. So in this topic, I want to emphasize that how we embrace diversity that can make our educational experience rich and more impactful, I think. And we look at how diversity not only benefits our learning, but also improves the care that we provide to the patient as we projected as the future healthcare worker. So I hope that the goal is to prepare you for a world that I think becoming increasingly interconnected. So next slide, please. Yeah, so when we talk about increasingly interconnected world, we mean that the healthcare professionals can work in various countries, contributing their competency, expertise to different healthcare systems. So you can work in Japan, in Germany. Patients, in other hand, have the option to choose the best providers that offer the best care, of course. So even if it means traveling abroad, this has led to a rise in medical tourism. So this is like the new terminology of, it's not really new, but this is rising the terminology, the medical tourism, where people travel to other country for medical treatments. So we also knew that the Ministry of Health, Indonesian Ministry of Health, also have a program that focusing on the expanding healthcare service, both in urban and the rural areas. So I think it's also one of case that I can say the world becoming more interconnecting. So the Ministry of Health also ensuring the quality care is accessible to all of people. So anything that I talked before, it's involving the multiculturalism, the concept of multiculturalism. Next slide. Before we going deeper, I'm going to introduce myself more. My name is Aimanggala Putra. So I'm a junior lecturer in Radiology Medicine Technology program in Faculty of Vocational Studies along University. I was graduated in Master of Science in Medical Imaging Science last year. And before that, I also pursuing the internship in Pac Hospital in Vietnam for about 3 months. I also conducted a joint research with our supervisor, our teacher, Dr. Latul Mukmiro. And after that, I worked as a radiographer for about 3 years. And I'm not really the expert of the multiculturalism in health education, but I hope that with this introduction, I hope that you got good sense of my background and perspective that I bring to our discussion today. So next slide. Yeah, so to talk about the multiculturalism in health education, I decided to talk about 3 outlines. The first one is the power of diversity in healthcare. So in this section, I plan to explore how diversity enhance healthcare environments and improves patient outcomes. Diversity brings a wealth of perspective and experiences, which can lead to more innovative solutions and better patient care. And then the second one, we talk about the benefits. There is a challenge as well. So while diversity brings many benefits, also present certain challenges that need to be addressed. And then the last one is the multicultural experience in health education that I mentioned before at a glance. We'll discuss how the experience can enrich the health education and prepare students for working in diverse environment. Now, I think next slide. I'll take a moment to review the concept of multiculturalism as we already delved in the 3 days since Friday, isn't it? So, be review on my perspective, multiculturalism refers to the presence and coexistence of multiple cultures within the society or organization, and it emphasizes the value of diverse cultural background, belief, practice, and perspective. So it's not only about the skin, it's not only about the, so it's anything that probably involves in the society, and the fields of recognizing, accepting is the thing that we are going to have a concept in the multiculturalism. And in a multiculturalism context, we recognize that its culture contributes uniquely to the collective experience. So this diversity really enriches our communities and foster a deeper understanding of the human experience. And I think it's encouraged us to appreciate differences. Now there is a promotion on inclusivity and helps to break down the barriers that may lead to misunderstandings or conflicts. And that is really susceptible in the healthcare settings. Next slide. Yeah, so I think I'm going to do something more interactive before we start, like the heavier topics. I'm going to present a series of statements. There's 5 statements related to the multiculturalism and healthcare. And actually, I want you to react based on whether you think a statement is true or false. If you believe the statement is true, please show me a thumbs up like the emoji in the Zoom chat. And if you think it's false, please go ahead and give me a heart or love emoji. So this will not only help us to, I want to cause your understanding, but also make this more engaging, I think, for everyone. So I'll try to read the statement. After a brief pause, you can directly reacting. Okay, you ready? So the first statement is, next slide. People from different cultures always have different beliefs about health. What do you think about that? Could you please give me your reaction? Where I can see the audience giving the reactions. Calorie, okay. Is it true or false? So I'll give you a few seconds to react. People from different cultures always have different beliefs about health. What do you think about that? Is it true or is it false? Anyone? Okay, Tiara give a true. Wait a minute. Halimah give false. So this is already interesting, isn't it? Let's see. Okay, some audience are replying by chat. Okay, probably I cannot see your reaction through the Zoom setting, but that's fine. Okay, probably I'm going to invite Harun Yusuf Ayub, since the name is quite same with me, Ayub as well. Could you turn on your audio? Is that okay? Harun Yusuf. Hello?
Halo, udah.
All right. So what do you think? Why is it true people from different culture always have different beliefs about health?
Assalamualaikum everybody. Assalamualaikum everybody.
Waalaikumsalam.
Okay, to myself, I just want to say about this. What I understand, people from different cultures always have the different beliefs about health.
Mm-hmm.
First and foremost, I'm not Indonesian and I am coming from Tanzania.
Sorry, could you please repeat where are you from?
Tanzania in Africa.
From Ghana, mashallah, yeah.
Not Ghana, Tanzania.
Tanzania, oh sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. What I have seen from my country and here in Indonesia,
Mm-hmm.
the people have a different aspect in a part of cultures and health.
Mm-hmm.
There in my country, most of the people, when they get disease, they always stay at home and use traditional medicine. And they
Mm-hmm.
always go to hospital once the problem is going to be severe or in
Oh,
worse condition.
yeah.
They
Got it.
always say that we have this tree, we can use this tree, we can use the other trees. I hope even in Indonesia, these things can happen, especially in village. But I can see most of the people that are in town areas, when they feel only a little, they get only a little sick, they go to hospital direct. It's just like
Okay.
one day I had my friend, she had the family, his son got a small accident and the blood come out.
Mm-hmm.
She took her son very seriously and go to hospital and lose a lot of money. While in my country, if it happens, things like this, we always say the blood will stop by its own, no need to go to hospital. We only apply some sort of things as a traditional healers. It's
Mm-hmm.
only what we are doing. So then what I just understand, every culture has got the different belief about the health, on how they can live and on how they can protect themselves to get a different disease. Others believe in most in traditional health, I mean traditional medicine, while others I believe more in hospital. It's just like that.
Right. Yeah. I got your point. So this is very interesting opinion from Ayub. Can I call you Ayub as well? So yeah, thank you for your opinion. Thank you for your opinion. So I would say there is no true or false. I'm going to give a different perspective from that. So for me, many people from different culture may have varying beliefs about health. I mean, we experience that in Indonesia like this, and let's say in Malaysia like this, in Singapore, and we talk about in Europe, for example, and in other continents. It's important to recognize that it's not every individual from a culture will share the same beliefs. So I would say that cultural beliefs can vary significantly within the single culture due to the personal experience, education, or maybe other factors that contribute in the individuals. So I would say the statement holds some truth, but also it doesn't apply universally. Yeah, something like that. But thank you very much for your reaction, everyone. Next statement, second statement is, what is it? Using patient first name is always a sign of respect. Is it true or false? Because, sometimes we need to call by the word, by the last name or first name. They're not gonna tell about your middle name. Are you replying true as well? True again. How about the others? Why cannot see the reaction in the display? What do you think, Tiara? Is it using patient first name is also always sign of respect?
Izinkan saya menjawab dalam bahasa Indonesia, Mister. Karena menurut saya pribadi, nama pertama itu biasanya adalah ya mungkin bukan berarti itu marga atau apa, tapi kebanyakan itu bisa menjadi marga dari sebuah keluarga dan itu merupakan suatu kehormatan kalau misalnya kita memanggil beliau dengan nama pertama dan kita mungkin ketika melihat nama yang panjang itu kita menyingkatnya tuh bingung ini mau memanggil yang siapa kan kita belum tahu nama panggilannya. Jadi kita menggunakan nama pertama saja itu sebuah bentuk respect menurut saya. Tapi kalau misalnya ditambahkan dengan kata Pak, Ibu dan sebagainya itu mungkin akan lebih hormat. Gitu. Terima kasih.
Thank you very much for the opinion. So, Tiara said that probably in Indonesia we used to put, Mr. or Mrs. by using Pa or Bu before the first name, but probably in other countries not apply the same. So, I would give probably perspective. So, I think the reality is that while using the patient first name, can offer very friendly, looks very convenience, approachability, but isn't always considered respectful in every cultural context. So in some culture, using a formal title or last name is preferred. Formal title like Indonesian or last name in some American country, as it shows respect for tradition and authority, and it is crucial to be aware and sensitive to the cultural preferences like that when interacting with patients. Next statement.
Thank you, Mr. Ayu.
Thank you very
for
much.
your another opinion.
Yeah. So the third statement, can you next slide, please? Yeah. So all healthcare providers should be fluent in multiple languages. So what do you think? So we are the future radiographers, we are the future physiotherapists, future doctor, for example, future nurse, future medical laboratory, future traditional medicine practitioner. What do you think? Do we need to really master all the languages to be qualified in the multiculturalism in healthcare settings? What do you think? True. Okay, Amelia Nashwa give the interesting answer. True. Nashwa, could you please give your opinion to us about why is it true to all healthcare providers should be fluent in multiple languages?
Okay, thanks for the opportunity to answer this statement. For me, why all healthcare providers should be fluent in multiple language, because we never know in future who is our patients from which from from other country or something like that.
Okay. So Naswa opinion is we can't choose who is our patient, so it's better to prepare than never. So I think the truth is, well-being fluent in multiple languages can be very valuable asset in the healthcare. So if you are the person that have a multi-language ability, that is you are gonna expensive. That is the valuable assets in the healthcare, but it's not a requirement for all providers. At least we have we knew the basic of the international language, but not really the multiple languages, because the ideal situation is for healthcare teams is to include the member who are multilingual. So the team that we needed is team, allowing them to communicate effectively. The concept of effective communication is really needed here in the multicultural or diverse patient populations. However, it's also essential to utilize resource. Probably we can have interpreters, translation that have probably more accurate to ensure the patient receive the best possible care. So we're gonna reduce the language barrier here. But thank you very much for the opinion, Nashwa. Very interesting. The next statement number 4, please. Statement number 4, please. Next slide. Statement number 4. Yeah, sorry, there's probably technical the screen is paused or something. Could you please show us the statement number 4, please? So the statement number 4 is cultural competence is a one-time training that you're good to go. So you're just doing the one-time cultural competence, and then you can immerse yourself in the diverse environment and diverse healthcare teams. What do you think? Is it true or not that the cultural competence should be done just once and then you're good to go? Is it true or false? Well, I think let's see, what is everyone reacting? I don't know. I cannot see the reaction actually. So that's okay. I think I'm just going to talk about it. Well, the reality is the statement is false. The cultural competence, being able to accept is not one-time training even. So it's ongoing process of learning and self-reflection. In the healthcare providers, we must continuously educate ourselves about different cultures, challenges, and our bias to adapt practice to meet the diverse needs of our patients. Yeah. Okay, please, next slide. We're moving to the next slide. The next one, please. Okay. Now let's start in the first outlines that I already mentioned before. So the first one is the power of diversity in healthcare. Why is it important? Why I want to bring this up? So healthcare is, becoming increasingly diverse by the interconnection by the concept of medical tourism, with the patient coming from wide range of ethnic, racial, and cultural backgrounds. And this diversity is not only in the patient population, but also in the healthcare workforce. So probably I'm going to work with the foreign radiographers, with have a different healthcare system before, different qualification before, different education system before, which is becoming more varied and inclusive. And I think this is the positive trend, because the diverse healthcare team brings the richer perspective and experiences and insight that can enhance the quality of care provided. So diverse teams are better equipped to understand the unique needs of their patient. For example, that I mentioned before, probably we going to have a teams that have a special ability in the some ethnic languages, and there's going to be the main goal is always to improve the patient outcomes and satisfaction if we talk about the healthcare settings. And in this section, let's try explore the many ways that probably diversity positively impact the healthcare. Next, please. So I think you already familiar with this kind of blocks. So this is the representation of SDGs, Sustainable Development Goals. We're going to focus on the SDG number 3 and number 10, which is closely related to our discussion today about the power of diversity in healthcare. So in SDG 3, it's good health and well-being. And this SDG actually, WHO set the goals to aim to ensure a healthy life and promote well-being to all and all ages. So everyone and in every ages. So it emphasizes actually the importance of equitably access to quality health service. When we talk about radiology, the care about the cardiology, the interventional cardiology is equally distributed. So there is no health disparities, and promoting the mental health as one of the goal as well in the well-being. And a diverse healthcare workforce or staff is really essential in achieving this goal. And it can be better to understand and address the challenge, the unique needs of every patient populations. And SDG number 10 is reduce inequalities. So this goes focusing on the reducing inequality. So we're going to give an effort to every single scope, which is we're going to receive equally, specifically in the scope of health. In healthcare, this means ensuring that everyone, regardless of ethnic, topic, racial, cultural background, has access to the same quality of care. As I mentioned before, the Ministry of Health in Indonesia this is the ongoing process to distribute the quality of health equally in a different region in Indonesia, in urban or in rural. And SDG 3 and SDG 10, one of the example why the diversity involved in the sustainable goals. Next slide. So I'm going to give you some data. This is the data from Bain Health Equity Survey conducted in 2023. This is the bar chart, and this highlights the health equity rank 4 out of 10, top 10 priority of healthcare providers. So the healthcare providers also give the attention to this factor, the health equity, because the data is actually well established, even though this in the fourth place, but the impression is still they're gonna say immersive, and this is going to be a trend for future years. So this is going to be attention. That's why we need to really focus on the power of diversity in the healthcare. As the population is growing, the healthcare providers also growing, positively. So that's why they can accommodate various background, various culture, and in the interconnecting world, in the concept of medical tourism as well. Okay, so next slide. From these two data, from these two probably background, there is a question, at the end of the day, there is a question, how do this statistic reflect the community you serve or hope to serve? Because Naswa said that we cannot choose our patient, but we can, prepare, we can predict what the expectation of patient. When the expectation of the patient we fulfill, the patient satisfaction will be achieved. So actually, there's 3 questions that I write. How do the statistics reflect the health equity? challenge faced by your community, and then this can be asked by yourself. Probably you can make this as problems for your research question, problem for your article. What insights can you draw from the statistic regardless the effectiveness of existing health equity in your area? How can you, as future healthcare professional, contributing the advanced health equity in the practice? For example, in physio, in radiology, or in others. Next slide. So there is three approach that I think why this going to be a strategy. So we want to give the maximum patient outcomes, and then cultural competence, and then we produce innovations through this condition. Next slide. For the patient outcomes, so diversity in healthcare brings advantages, of course, in patient care, because the healthcare providers come from various background. If the healthcare providers come from various background, they possess a unique perspective and experience. So when the diverse community collaborate, they can leverage their varied experience to identify the potential barriers to care that may be specific to certain population. This proactive approach going to be help ensure that all patients receive the appropriate care and support they need. So basically, it enrich the perspective, the decision making. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, the cultural competence. So there's multiculturalism and there is a cultural competence. So the cultural competence actually being able to accept, being able to understand and recognize the different culture, the culture as an individual as well. When the patient recognize the healthcare providers respect their cultural beliefs, they are more likely more comfortable, I would say. So they're going to share more information. From the more information, we're going to get the comprehensive plan for the treatment, for example, comprehensive plan for our technical parameter settings in radiology, for example. So the cultural competence also involves being aware of one's biases. So when we ask someone who don't have who have specific culture, and we don't have the cultural competence, I think they're not gonna say truthfully, and there's a lot of bias that maybe become a risk during treatment. Yeah, something like that. Next slide. And the last one is innovation. So of course, by complex or comprehensive information, complex or comprehensive teams, we can produce new intervention that we call new innovation. Yeah. Basically, there's more one person that doing the brainstorming. So it develops solution that cater the wider range of patient needs, ultimately leading to the effective healthcare interventions. Next slide. Yeah, so this is one of the example, Mayo Clinic. Mayo Clinic is one of the most famous clinic in USA, which also have affiliated in many countries, some of them in Indonesia as well. So Mayo Clinic is the healthcare institution that has made the significant achievement in creating a culture, diversity, and inclusion. So Mayo Clinics, if you open the website, Mayo Clinics have the commitment to diversity and inclusion, and it's not just a policy. It's really ingrained in the organization, in the recruitment process, in the values and in the practices. They recognize that fostering a diverse workforce and inclusive environment is essential for delivering high quality patient care. So this is more into the promotion of diversity, and the Mayo Clinic really bring that to the practice. And from that, there is a lot of innovation produced, and the innovation is really beneficial to the patient care. Next slide. So this is the example of what the Mayo Clinic already achieved. There is a disability inclusion award in their staff. Could you imagine? And then the hospital with the award in diversity, most diverse teams in the world in 2022. And how Mayo Clinic then has implementation of these strategies. Next slide. Next slide. So how Mayo Clinic has implemented these strategies? You can open the mayoclinic.org patient-centered care. So the first one is they have patient-centered care, which means that tailoring the treatment with the specific population. So it have specific needs, specific results. For example, the Hispanic patients have the risk of cancer. They have besides they have a general patient screening, cancer screening. They also address the Hispanic patients. And then talk about the cultural competence. They have training, cultural sensitive workforce. So the workforce have a teams that protect the vulnerable population, the vulnerable marginal group. And there is a language service. There's a mentorship programs that supervise doing this program. And then the last one, of course, the innovations that we mentioned before, that we discussed before. So by diverse research teams, Mayo Clinic has assembled the research teams that have various, we can use as a guidance, like every single experiment, they really think about the socioeconomic, the ethnographic involved in their results. So the more complex information we gather as the academicians. Next slide. The second one is overcoming challenge in multicultural healthcare. So next slide. What is the common language? So this is quite general, actually. The first one is, next slide. Okay, there's three of them. The first one is language barrier. The second one is cultural misunderstanding. And the third one is health disparity. So when we involve in the new healthcare system, or we are study in the new healthcare, in the the new culture of health education. So I think three things that are going to be challenged. The language barrier. We know that language is a basic things to get the effective communication. When patient and provider cannot communicate clearly, it can lead to misunderstandings. So incorrect diagnosis, or even treatment errors, or mispositioning. The language barriers is really real in these settings. The second one is cultural misunderstandings. So if there is a different beliefs about health, about illness and treatment, will be a big deal too. It can lead to the conflicts that we cannot treat our approach, give a treatment with the standard approach. For example, we need to brainstorm and give the another choice to make it more fits. And then the health disparities. The health disparities is actually more into the governmental level. So unequal access to the healthcare service and different healthcare outcomes due to the limited workforce, for example, and the difficulty of access in some areas, in rural areas, for example. The next slide, please. And then how to build the cultural competence. The first one is to what is the common challenge? The second one is how to build the cultural competence. So next slide. To have to, to show that we have a cultural competence and the patient feels that you have a cultural competence so they can share information comfortably, we need to have the ability of effective communication. So effective communication, not only by, mastering multiple languages, we can't invite interpreters, but we need to, explain to the interpreters very details and ensure that interpreters give them the details information too, and it's going to be two directions communication in the end of the day. The second one is cultural sensitivity training, as it mentioned in the Mayo Clinic as well. So there's a team that ensure that every single staff have their cultural competence. So this is the cultural sensitivity training is about. And it's not one time to go, once training and then you're good to go, but also it's need to be reviewed, need to be monitored by the specific team as mentioned before. And then patient centered care, this concept is now becoming increasingly developed. Patient centered care, when we address every single case based on the patient needs, patient centered care. Next slide. So this is the example that newly released books in the scope of radiography, one of the healthcare vocational program in our university. So they already involve the patient care in radiography. Before, there is just patient care in radiography, but now we really make it specific person-centered in radiography. If you're interested, you can look up this book. I don't know if it's available in our library or not. Okay, next slide. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide. Yeah, so when we talk about the health disparities, as I mentioned before, it's more into government policy. So, but as students or as academicians, we can do some efforts like identifying vulnerable populations. We're going to give advocacy by bring up this to the research, and we present it to the poster, we present it to the conference, and we talk that these groups, these specific groups need different treatment. For example, you offer your innovations, something like that. Next slide. I think the time is limited, isn't it? How many minutes left, Tiara? Hello, Tiara. Okay, let's continue.
Yes.
So, okay, how many minutes left for this session?
15 minutes again.
15, okay. So quite long. So this is example when we talk about the different cultural competence. When we talk about radiology or physiotherapy, we touch patients a lot. So some culture doesn't allow other then family touch you like freely, or probably different sex, different gender interact, something like that. So this kind of things that probably can be a conflict if we don't have a cultural competence. The language barrier as well. When we talk about radiology, we're going to be the patient will be misunderstanding. So there is longer examination time. Patient cannot, we cannot positioning the patient freely because patient not understand, something like that. As well as in the physiotherapy. Next slide. Okay, I think the last outlines is about I'm going to sharing my journey throughout the multicultural health education. Okay, next slide. So on this slide, I want to share some key experience from my internship and joint research in Vietnam. And I think this is greatly contributed to my understanding of multicultural health education. And next slide. Okay. Well, so this is actually the picture during my the picture of my main activity as an internship student and joint research is not available because I don't know, I've lost all of it, but just I only found this on the website of our university. So yeah, I hope this give you some ideas how we immerse to the new culture. So next slide. One of the most significant aspect in the time during our program in Vietnam was experiencing cultural shock. That is my first time going abroad. Went abroad and adapting to the new environment. It's very challenging. So, for example, looking for halal food is quite hard in Vietnam. I also faced the delicate task of, politely declining offers to drink alcohol without offending my host. It's quite challenging as well. And then this experience, I think, contribute the importance of how we have a cultural competence and navigating the differences with the respect and sensitivity. Next slide. And then when we moved to Vietnam for about 3 months, we learned about the different healthcare system practice, even though we're not really the expert of the healthcare system and practice, but at least we feel we simulate as the Vietnamese healthcare worker. So the healthcare system in Vietnam differs significantly from what I used to in Indonesia. For instance, I work for full 12-hour shift, so it's full shift, and then the patient volume is massive with the hospital. In Indonesia, we don't have like 5 MRIs, but in the Beckman hospital that I did an internship, they have 5 MRI, and each MRI handle up to 80 patients. So the patient volume is massive. I don't know. I think the healthcare system is really, efficient, or I don't know what is the background behind that. But the key points is the demands of healthcare professional in the different healthcare settings is also different. So we can see that you as a healthcare worker, me as a internship student at that time, feels that we are really needed in this setting. So we need to, have the more ability, always review, always refresh our ability, and we need to incorporate the multiculturalism in this scope in the healthcare. Next slide. And then cultural sensitivity. Yeah, it leads to the cultural sensitivity. try to stay collaborative and open for understanding in the cultural now in the to my colleagues, to the patients, because we want to have a positive relationship and effective teamwork. That's why we need to have the cultural sensitivity better. And I think that is the fundamentals providing quality care when we talk about when we immerse in the new culture. Next slide. And then the impact of the professional development, of course. So by have an experience in a different culture, I think we can get more perspective. Myself more immersed in the radiology scope. Like, I don't know, I feel like radiology is really cool since that time. Before that, it's just so, but after that, radiology or radiographers or radiology technology, so MRI, everything is really cool. And by that, make me want to going deeper to continue the master degree and etc. But beside that, I also get teman sejawat or the same professional but different country, from different country. I got friends from there. At that time, we are students, but now we are radiographers, and I still consulting by that. So the professional development is still increased. Next slide. And then after that, I back to Indonesia and working in Indonesia for about 3 months and try to contribute my experience to the healthcare in Indonesia. And 3 years, sorry, it's not 3 months, 3 years. And then I start to pursuing my master degree in UK, different continent, and yeah, it's going to be different experience as well. Next slide. The first one is the healthcare system and the culture in UK is really different. So in UK, we have NHS or National Health Service. And what the thing that the takeaway points that I got from the healthcare system is they emphasize the evidence-based practice in the fundamental as a fundamental aspect, and the research findings really directly influence the healthcare policies and practice. And I think they also have, they're not going to mention that, but indirectly, of course, they ensure the patient care as the largest evidence. And this very effective integration is really important. And I hope that probably Indonesia already applied this, but I hope that this is going to be maintained in Indonesia. And I'm going to be, I want to be, involved in this kind of settings. Next slide. Adapting new academic environment. Next slide. Yeah, so the first time when I arrived in UK and doing my first week lecture, I don't know what I'm doing and I don't know what they talk about. So I'm not really get anything. I don't get anything. I got nothing from that in the first week. And turns out in the first 3 weeks there's an examination, and then I got really bad score, like 2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. So yeah, I start from really low score, low grade, but I think I try to be not really was it like 12 by that. So I try to increase by myself. So I try to join some organization. I try to join some forum to increase my cultural sensitivity, to increase my academic, like forcefully give the, you need to change, and this is the new academic environment that you need to realize. So yeah, selected as the student representative. I'm joining some conference. So by that, my score is growing, and many opportunity grow as well. Next slide. The importance of intercultural communications. So as I selected as the student representative, actually I face challenge in the communicating with the fellow students and in the addressing their problems to the program director or program coordinator. So actually there's still their language barrier and cultural differences, but this experience taught me that you just need to active listening and empathy, which is quite essential skills. You can present it. It's okay. Life is about learning. So immersing in the multicultural setting is also learning the new things. There's no perfect in the world, and there's always the first time. So yeah, I always think that as my mindset at that time. But turns out it's okay, and it's not really big deal in the end of the day. Next slide. Yes, this is the example. So after I changed my mindset, I more confidence to bring myself in the front of different culture, really different culture, I would say. In here there's Indian, Chinese, UK, British, sorry, and another country. And this is one of the award that I got, like the best poster, and then I got the most significant growth student in the program. So I got invited lunch by our coordinator. I mean, it's quite a big deal for me because I feel like, oh my God, this is quite a big deal for me, and I need to think that what should I talk about? Yeah, something like that. And this in the middle is I try to have some memories with my friends, taking selfies, because they actually really have their culture that they're probably introvert or something, or they're not really like to be exposed. But let's see by that we can communicate, and yeah, it turns out we can make memories together. Next slide. And then of course it's same with the Vietnam experience. The master program have the contribute the understanding of the multiculturalism in the healthcare. So give me the ideas how the various framework to understand the multicultural education, and how the different healthcare system affect the outcomes of the patient. And it also make me realize that different cultural background enrich my learning experience. Next slide. Okay, finally, so there's 3 takeaway points that I hope this also there's 3 takeaway points that I think we're going to remember. So the first one is diversity in healthcare boosts patient care. And it's not only boosts patient care, but also the innovations. So more beneficial. The second one is cultural competence is crucial. So being able to recognize, being able to accept is crucial to mitigating the health disparities and optimizing the patient care. And then multicultural education, prepare that you guys are healthcare professional, future healthcare professional, have a culturally competent. I think that's it for me. Next slide. Thank you very much. This is some references that I use. You can open. It's quite new references, and I think this also been suited with the newest condition after COVID. Next slide. Thank you very much. I'm happy to take any questions.
Okay, thank you, Mr. for the knowledge. I will say the important points again. Based on what Mr. Ayub Manggala Putra has delivered is one, power of diversity in healthcare is diversity boosts patient care and innovation in healthcare. Second, overcoming challenge in multicultural healthcare is culture competence is crucial for mitigating health disparities and optimizing patient care. Some common challenges are one, language barriers, culture misunderstanding, and health disparity. And three, multicultural experience in health education. Multicultural education prepares culture competence health care professionals. Right, Mister?
Yeah, that's great. Perfect.
Well, thank you. Well, before everyone on here wanna ask, I wanna ask first. First, what are some effective strategies for implementing multicultural health education program in countries with diverse population such as Indonesia? And second, what are some challenges faced by healthcare system in integrating diversity and how can they be overcome? Thank you.
Can I answer it in bahasa? Is that okay?
Yes,
Okay,
you can.
because Maulida Maya said that it's just the presentation you talk in English, but in the question and answer you can talk in bahasa. So, okay. So, bagaimana strategi ketika kita ingin mengintegrasikan ya, betul ya? Apa tadi
Ya, benar.
strategi untuk mengintegrasikan multicultural konsep pada education di vocational gitu ya, Mbak
Benar,
Tiara?
Mister. Iya.
Benar. Jadi kita di Universitas Airlangga, kita sangat beruntung kita berada di universitas nomor 4 terbaik di Indonesia, di mana ini menjadi tujuan dari berbagai mahasiswa dari berbagai area di Indonesia, di mana itu kita tidak usah suruh, mereka akan datang dan di situ akan terjadi proses multiculturalism. Dan sebenarnya yang menjadi tonggak di sini adalah mahasiswa itu sendiri, di mana apakah dia bisa accept orang yang berbeda atau tidak, di mana sebenarnya perbedaan itu mereka awalnya ya merasa itu sesuatu big deal, tapi lama-lama tidak. Dengan cara apa? Mereka punya cultural competence yang tadi saya singgung, daya being able to recognize, being able to accept, seperti itu. Kemudian di situ dia tidak selalu bring up culture. Jadi apakah Anda pernah dengar bahwa sebenarnya racism itu tidak akan racism jika kita tidak pernah bring up seperti itu. Jadi ini sebenarnya sama untuk vocational curriculum itu sebenarnya sudah kita berikan secara umum ya. Kalau di vocational education kita PKL, begitu kita sudah mulai menyebar di berbagai area di Indonesia begitu. Jadi sebenarnya itu juga menolong kita agar kita immerse ke culture baru, memaksa kita untuk memiliki cultural competence, karena ke depan cultural competence itu sesuatu yang penting gitu. Seperti itu, Tiara, semoga menjawab.
Sangat cukup menjawab, Mister. Terima kasih. Well, very awesome answer. Thank you. To all participants who wish to ask question to Mr. Ayub Manggala Putra, please activate the raise hand feature or type in the Zoom chat column if your device is having problem. Silakan teman-teman boleh langsung bertanya kepada Pak Ayub Manggala Putra, dosen TRP ya Pak ya, Teknologi Radiologi Pencitraan. Bisa di kolom chat Zoom atau mengaktifkan mikrofon dan juga on cam. Silakan teman-teman. Boleh menggunakan bahasa Indonesia maupun bahasa Inggris. Terima kasih.
Kalau belum ada yang tanya, barangkali saya pengen tanya ke Maulida. Halo Maulida. Maulida ketua acaranya ya?
Iya, benar, Ketua Pelaksana
Ya,
acara.
luar biasa. Eh, ini acara yang sangat menarik gitu, karena ini benar-benar jadi challenge kita nanti ke depan, bahwa mungkin barangkali eh, banyak radiografer, banyak fisioterapis, banyak medical technologies yang datang gitu ya, dia akan ya punya kompetensi yang berbeda. Maksudnya dia datang dari negara yang lain begitu. Jadi ini benar-benar mempersiapkan kita gitu.
Sudah ada pertanyaan dari Kak Alia. Permisi bertanya Bapak, apakah peran pendidikan dan status ekonomi dapat menimbulkan terjadinya ketidaksetaraan kesehatan? Terima kasih.
Ya, benar sekali. Jadi pertanyaannya adalah apakah peran pendidikan dan status ekonomi. Jadi memang ketika kita membicarakan, when we talk about the multiculturalism, the cultural competence, itu juga involve socioeconomic dan juga ada educational background di situ. Dan itu tadi yang sebenarnya kita harus sadari bahwa di cultural competence kita tidak bisa treat everyone universally. Misalnya, dari sini dia sebenarnya ras Jawa itu dia ngeyelan kok gitu. Jadi ketika kita berikan sebuah treatment, maka dia akan banyak menolaknya gitu. Padahal some person they have a very good understanding about the healthcare, about health treatment. So pendidikan tentu saja berperan gitu ya, ketidaksetaraan kesehatan. Kemudian how to access the healthcare providers. There is sekarang hospital sudah banyak yang mengakui dirinya, not only the A accredited hospital, B accredited hospital, or academic hospital, but they also called themselves as a premium hospital. So when they have called their name as a premium hospital, they're gonna give more service, but remember they're going to have more costs to be spent in this hospital. So tentu saja pasien-pasien yang tidak memiliki kemampuan ke situ, maka dia akan tidak mendapatkan pelayanan kesehatan secara baik. But Ministry of Health, the program of Ministry of Health reduce the health disparities by by distributing the medical technology equally. We have 3 priority in cancer care, in cardiology, and the urology. So yeah, now the effort is on the right track, I think. I hope that the education and the economic status not going to be a big deal in the future. Itu harapan kita sebenarnya. Tapi sebenarnya saat ini health disparities masih dipengaruhi oleh itu, karena untuk BPJS kita juga masih membayar, begitu kan? Jadi status ekonomi jadi masih diperhatikan. Kemudian pendidikan, bahwa Anda harusnya diberikan pemeriksaan ini, tapi karena pendidikannya kurang dan ada yang lebih murah misalnya seperti itu, maka tidak menerima pelayanan secara maksimal. Begitu, Alia. Terima kasih pertanyaannya. Semoga menjawab. Kemudian Sofia Gonim, I think I knew this name. Permisi Pak Ayub, saya mau bertanya, seberapa efektif cultural sensitivity training bisa meningkatkan komunikasi yang efektif? Lalu apakah ada alternatif atau cara lain yang lebih baik selain metode tersebut? Jadi kalau kita ngomongin sebuah metode untuk cultural competence, sebelumnya tidak ada metode, tapi di sini dia bikin sesuatu yang terprogram, di mana ada sebuah kurikulumnya, ada satu persatu understanding bagaimana background-nya. Sebelumnya kita hanya mempelajari yang disebut dengan bioetik dan humaniora. Kalau misalnya rekan-rekan sudah pernah menerima mata kuliah itu, biasanya di diploma 4 atau diploma 3 di kesehatan kita menerima itu, kita diberikan bioetik dan humaniora, how we treat patient based on the ethics, and there is a human behavior that we need to concern. Jadi sebenarnya base-nya dari situ. Tapi ketika cultural competence, dia have customs, dia sesuaikan dengan apa yang berkembang di situ. For example, in the US, in the Mayo Clinic, they have patients specifically in the Hispanic patient, specifically in the Hmong patient or Mexican patient. So they going to make the cultural sensitivity training specific in that culture. Tapi di Indonesia kita bisa buat itu sebagai if you have ideas in PKM gitu ya. Ini juga bisa jadi sesuatu yang ide baik gitu. Anda bisa sesuaikan misalnya di pengabdian masyarakat, Anda ke suku yang lain, ke suku yang begini, ke rural area begitu. Begitu Mbak Sofia, jadi base-nya sebenarnya we have to understand the bioethics and humaniora.
Baik,
Sebelum ini.
terima kasih Pak Ayub untuk jawabannya. Terima kasih Kak Alia dan Kak Sofia untuk pertanyaannya. Apakah masih ada pertanyaan lain teman-teman? Silakan, masih dibuka Q&A-nya.
Untuk international student-nya berasal dari rekan-rekan yang kemarin student mobility dari Malaysia juga ya berarti? Ya.
Ya, ada yang dari Malaysia juga, ada yang
Ada rekan dari Malaysia. Oke.
Ya, benar.
Oke, menarik.
There is question from Ali Juma Kamis, Pak. What are the best practice for training healthcare professional in culture? Thank you, Ali, for your question.
Hello. Okay. Ali Juma Khamis, thank you very much for the question. This is very good questions that actually I need to explore more in this scope. So what are the best practice for training healthcare professional in cultural competence? So I cannot answer like the specific how many hours we need to what is it? We need to going through, we need to pass, but at least in this cultural competence we have different we work as a teams, and we have a monitor. We have the program that ensure the monitoring of the practice going well in the field. And as I mentioned before, that the cultural competence and cultural sensitivity training is not one-time training, so we need to continually improving the understanding. So actually, to ensure that its questions need to be remembered by the hospital, by the healthcare providers, because the challenge they face actually in front of their face, like directly. So they need to realize that this is really important thing. And that's why there is a team, the cultural competence team, the cultural sensitivity training team, that have the program to, in-house training their staff to ensure they can overcome the challenge in the future. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Ayub.
Yeah,
And
I
next question
hope that
from-
it's answered. I think actually you can explore more by the references I given to you. Yeah. I got the question. There's two questions, so I try to answer it by one, and it's I try to be relate the first question to the second questions. Yeah. I'm sorry if it's not really satisfying answer. Yeah, I realized that because I don't really understand the the technical, like the how many hours, like how many so it's how many hours are what is it, like the curriculum, something like that. But I hope you can look up to the references I given to you in the 7 references in the end of the presentations. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ali said, I mean, those are 2 questions, not 1. 2 questions. How can healthcare provide ensure they are continually improving their understanding of diverse cultures?
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
Yes, there is 2 questions from Ali Jumakamis. Yes.
Yeah, I think I've answered it. Is it still so the cultural competence training in the healthcare professional actually focusing on the skill and knowledge that value diversity, the understand and respond of the cultural differences, and they hope that it increase the awareness of the providers. So it really affected by the policy, really, actually. Trainings can provide the facts about the patient cultures or include more complex intervention like intercultural communication skills, training, or probably exploration. And they, of course, they make the potential barrier and they're gonna solve by themselves. And they're going to be, customed by the policy already released by their government. And they ensure that they're going to accommodate the linguistic differences, linguistic difficulty of various backgrounds. So I think when Ali Juma Khamis talk about the best practice, I think that is the best answer that I can give. So it's really what is it, customized by the hospital, and they're going to be, follow in the government policy about their healthcare. So they used to handle by this kind of training used to handle by the clinical educators in the hospital. Yeah, something like that. When you want to see the best practice, I think you can refer to U.S. Department Health of Human Service. There's something like think cultural health, and there's cultural competence in the U.S. Department of Health. And to ensure, yeah, how can the healthcare provider ensure they are continually improving their understanding of diverse culture? So they need to keep up with every single update that government make. Of course, for example, they're going to open the foreign staff to be work in their hospital, even from the lowest level of hospital in the rural area, because now Ministry of Health have a program that he going to open the access for the foreign doctor, foreign staff, healthcare staff to work in Indonesia. And as the hospital increase their potency, their medical technology, they try to give the best service, optimal care, the best patient care. So they want to make their hospital as the medical tourism, like destination. So that's why they need to ensure that their staff, keep up with the cultural competence as well, because that is the challenge that directly, give into their in front of their face. And if the hospital want to give the best service, if the hospital want to be survive in the future, I think the cultural competence is the thing that need to be priorities, as I mentioned before in the 4 priorities in the US. I hope that it's answer the Ali Jumakami's question.
Okay.
And then
Thank you, Mr. Yes, maybe last question from Dinar. Excuse me, sir. How do culture difference impact the interpretation and communication of radiological findings between patient and healthcare professionals?
Yeah, so it's not only so for I don't really have experience for the interpretation in the radiology findings, because there's 2 options in Indonesia. We're going to use Bahasa Indonesia for the expertise, but the patient can choose if they want to second opinion or go to the foreign hospital, abroad hospital. We're going to release the English version. So for the interpretation of the expertise in the radiology results, I think it's not really a big deal. But the thing is, actually, when we educate patients during the preparation, during the positioning, during the procedure. So some patients, so before we start our radiological procedure, we need to educate patients, because that is sometimes it's invasive. So we need to get agreement from the patient by using informed consent. And that is a big deal, I would say, in this setting, in the cultural differences. So I have experienced that Naswa mentioned before, that Naswa answered before about the language barrier. So language barrier is really real, and I have difficulties to communicate with that. And at that time, thank God, our hospital realized that that is our hospital have the division to give the interpreters, to give the translators, not only in English but also in other languages. So our hospital try to recruit staff from different background with different mother language. Yeah, mother language. So I can call this division. So this is like kind of, I call the case manager, but the case manager called if I'm not mistaken, is the nursing department. So they invite the nurse with this same background. I talk to her. I want to give this. I explain it comprehensively and detailed, and I hope that the patient is understand. And at that time, yeah, it's going smoothly. So actually, we need a good team in our hospital, in radiological department. So yeah, that is my answer, Dinar. Thank you very much. That is good question.
Okay. Well, we say many thanks to Mr. Ayub Manggalaputra for the material and knowledge that has been delivered. Before Mr. Ayub Manggalaputra leave this Zoom, let's take a photo together and the awarding of certificate as a form of gratitude for being willing to be a speaker at the 2024 Medvoc webinar. I will help you count. First page, 1, 2, 3. Next, 1, 2, 3. Next, 1, 2, 3. Mohon diterima ya Bapak sertifikatnya. Terima kasih karena telah bersedia untuk menjadi native speaker yang luar biasa pada Medvoc webinar hari terakhir kali ini.
Halo, terima kasih ya.
Ya,
Maaf.
terima kasih. You can leave Zoom or stay here. Thank you. Okay, the next event, time and screen, I give to Sally. Sally, can you hear my voice?
Yes, I can hear your voice. I'm here. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited to guide you through the game mechanics of our upcoming 10 question technical quiz on Kahoot. Okay, do you understand, guys, about quiz in Kahoot? I want to read one by one about the step. The first step is joining the quiz. Go to Kahoot IT on your device or open the Kahoot apps. Second, I will share a unique game pin. Third, please fill your nickname. And the next, playing the quiz, answering the question. The quiz consists of 10 questions. Scoring. Points are awarded based on courage of your answer. Following the game, leaderboard updates. After each question, the leaderboard will be updated to show the top score. Final score on all 10 questions have been answered. The final leaderboard will display the top scores. Announcing the winners, we will announce and congratulate the top 3 winners based on their score. And here the additional tips: stay focused, stay calm, and have fun. That's all that you need to know to participate in our Kahoot quiz. Get ready on test your knowledge and have a great time. So guys, do you understand? And are you ready? Please reach in Zoom chat.
I'm sorry, can you
Thank you,
repeat how
Sally.
can you join? I'm sorry, can you send the link to join the game?
Can you repeat?
Can you send the link to join the game? I sent the SMS here. You can look message on chat.
I can
Okay,
hear your
you can
voice.
start it.
I'm sorry. What have you said? Oh, you can look at the screen, the link and the game pin.
Okay, guys, you can join at our quiz in www.kahoot.it or with the Kahoot apps with campaign 7761601. Okay, you can open www.kahoot.it or open in Kahoot app. Thank you. No. You just go in www.kahoot.it. There is no link to our quiz. Thank you, Harun. Okay, guys, let's join to our quiz and get your prize for the winner of Medvoc Quiz 2024. Please wait.
I think this enough, Sister Tiara. Can we start now or still wait?
Maybe we can still wait for 5 or 6 minutes again, Sally.
Okay, guys, please join.
For Ali Juma Kamis, yes, the committee will give a signal to start later. So please wait. Okay, guys, we will start it. So, are you ready? Let's start, Sally.
Okay, let's begin the quiz.
Wow, congratulations, Salsabila. The next question is true or false. Is it true combination of skills and inactivity if applied in a healthcare setting will get result maximally beneficial? True or false? There is 30 answers. Okay, Adelia Afifa. The next questions. Hello, which is included in a study program at the Vocational Faculty of Airlangga University, Pharmacy, Medical, Psychotherapy, and Public Health Department. Okay, psychotherapy. It's right. Where is University of Manchester located? USA, South Korea, Australia, or UK? Still Adelia Afifa. So keep it spirit. Keep up spirit. Next question. Which are not included to build culture competence? Effective communication or culture misunderstanding, culture sensitive training, or last patient-centered care. Semangat teman-teman. Sudah ada 34 jawaban. Waktu tinggal 33 detik lagi. Yes, the answer is culture misunderstanding. Siapa yang menjawab benar? Okay, Vera in first position. Next, true or false question. Is it true that immigration can... True or false? Okay guys, I'm back. 34 jawaban. For the question, what is the SDGs related to program for and hunger community center? Wow, Adelia Afifa. Congratulations. Pertanyaan ke-8. 8 of 10 question, which not include challenge in Indonesia. Poor dietary habits, or unlimited access to health food, or poor sanitation, or the last answer. Red, blue, green. Oh, okay. Vera again. 9 of 10 question. Where does Pencaksilat come from? Indonesia, Laos, Thailand, or Malaysia? I think you will all know the question about Pencaksilat. Yes, Indonesia. And the last question, so don't give up. The last question will be coming, which not include culture competence, knowledge, attitude, skills, or ignorance. Semangat guys. Pertanyaan terakhir. Okay, and the winner of quiz Medvoc 2024 is Yep, Vera. Congratulations to Vera, Adelia, and Igede Arya. Congratulations. You will get special prize from Commit of Medvoc 2024. Hello guys, don't forget to absent. The link presets is Thank you for your contribution in our quiz, guys. So, permission to provide information that the present link will be sent via Zoom chat column and will be closed after 2 hours of the event ending. Okay. Good luck and congratulations for all participants. Before and the next event is along with event, namely the announcement of the winners of the digital poster competition Medvoc 2024, TPC Medvoc 2024. We really appreciate the participation and creativity all of participants. After going through a rigorous assessment process, we are proud to announce the winner of DPC Medvoc 2024 today. So, please wait. Okay, the third winner went to Ayo, siapa yang kemarin ikut Medvoc? Farah Ihsan with her poster entitled Medvoc Poster. Congratulations to Farah Ihsan on her extraordinary achievement. Wow. You will get the third winner. There is Farah in here webinar. Yes, Farah. Can you hear my voice, Farah Ihsan? Okay. The second winner was Jihan Ramadan with his work entitled Can I Fly? Congratulations to Jihan Ramadan for his inspiring work. Hello, Jihan. Jihan, are you there?
Sorry, I can.
Okay. Congratulations, Jihan.
Okay, thank you.
And finally, the first winner of the Medvoc 2024 poster competition was 3, 2, 1. Dialofi Gizahira with a poster entitled Celebrating All Talents. Congratulations to Dialofi Gizahira for an extraordinary and meaningful work. Hello, Dialofi.
Yeah, I'm here. Thank
Okay,
you.
congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you to all participants for their contribution and antusias dan kontribusi yang sangat-sangat mendukung berjalannya di Digital Poster Competition Medvoc 2024. We hope this event can be inspiration for all of us to continue working and innovating. Congratulations to the winner and see you at the next event. Okay, guys. Finally, we have reached the end of the event. Hopefully, what has been conveyed can provide very useful knowledge to friends of Medvoc 2024 participants. Before that, we will take photo together maybe for memories in our activity today. Okay, I will help count. 1, 2, 3. Next page. 1, 2, 3. Last page. 1, 2, 3. Okay, thank you. We would like to thank the entire Medvoc 2024 committee in charge. Before today's event ends, permission to provide information again that the Prince link will be sent via Zoom chat column and will be closed after 2 hours of the event ending. To end the event today, let us pray according to each religion and belief. Prayers are welcome. Okay, thank you. As the host of the event, I want to say thank you for attention given and forgive me if there are some mistake. And last, Taylor Swift eating apple pie, Ariana Grande walking on the way. I promise this is not a goodbye. We will see you again someday. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone. For the winner of quiz, please contact person in our poster and the winner of TBC Medvoc. First winner Dealofi, second or Jihan, and third Farah Isan. For the winner of the digital poster competition, please contact us. And thank you everyone. Don't forget to present. Oke guys, absennya di kolom chat ya. Jangan lupa untuk absen biar sertifikat kalian bisa keluar nanti, bisa mendapat sertifikat webinar internasional Medvoc 2024. Thank you for your participation in Medvoc 2024. Don't forget to absent. Don't forget to present. Thank you all. good afternoon, and take a good rest. Thank you, everyone. You can leave the Zoom after absent. Congratulations, the winner of DPC Medvoc 2024. Congratulations, the winner of quiz and the winner of ice breaking. Thank you, Commit, and thank you all